10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. It's almost Valentine's Day. Are you prepared? If not, you better be. Get out there and shop. You got to take care of your ladies. So if you haven't gotten a gift yet, you might want to get out there and find something, or you're going to be left this weekend without getting any loving. So get out there. Welcome, everybody. It's Friday afternoon, and I am thrilled. It's almost a weekend. It's been a long week, so hopefully all of you sit back and enjoy this show today. I got a bunch of things I want to talk about, and I got to say, I'm starting to feel that maybe we have a little bit of victory coming in this country. So I'm starting to feel optimistic. I'm starting to feel good. I hope you're all feeling the same way. So let's get at this in a second. So welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. It is Friday. Hey, good morning, everybody. And actually, I should say good afternoon. I'm actually on at a later time today. That's twice I said good morning, and it's actually the afternoon. So I hope everyone's doing well. Things here are great. It's Friday afternoon. We've had a couple of nice days of beautiful weather. We are up into the 50s today. Eric, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I want to make sure you can hear my audio. I see that you're in the room, so hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. But it's Friday. The weather's beautiful. We're looking at 50s the next couple of days. And I know for the people that live in southern climates, 50s may not sound that great, but trust me when I tell you, when you're into February and you're in the 50s, that is a great thing when you're in Massachusetts at this time of year. It literally feels like springtime. People are driving around with their windows down. People actually break out the shorts when you're in the 50s here in New England. So this feels like a beautiful day. And I'm excited because in a couple of weeks, I am heading south. We often do this for February vacation for my kids and my family. So we're heading down to Florida, and I'm pretty excited about that. We're actually flying into Tampa and going to spend some time in Fort Myers. We're going to spend some time in Orlando, probably hit SeaWorld. So if there's anybody that's going to be in SeaWorld in 2 weeks, let me know and we can meet up and chat a little bit. So Captain A, welcome to the show. Thank you for everybody coming in. This is a special pop-up edition of the Jon DiVito Show. And I've got to say, I don't know if you guys all feel this way, but I'm finally starting to feel like things are starting to happen in the right direction right now. So I'm not sure if you guys are feeling it. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of things happening now across Canada. We're seeing things happen here in the United States. We're seeing the whole trucker convoy. We're seeing the narrative of COVID and the mask mandates and the vaccine ID mandates all starting to fall apart. And for me, the greatest thing about this is I just finally feel that our country is starting to fight for their freedom. Canada's been fighting for their freedom, and we are now fighting for our freedom. And, over the last couple of years, I've done shows about things like the Great Reset and different things that I felt like were happening in this country and across the world. And, sometimes when I did those shows, I would sit back and think and say, is this real? Are these things, really happening? Crazy Train, welcome to the show. And it just made me kind of wonder if maybe we were all kind of going down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. But now we're starting to see, people standing up. We're seeing people stand up for their freedom. And to me, it's such a beautiful thing. Good to see you. And, I mean, to see the trucker convoys that have been happening in Canada, when you see the people in the United States now standing up and demanding that we regain our freedom, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I was starting to really wonder if we were going to lose our freedom permanently in this country and in the world. And it seems like right now we are fighting back. We are doing the things we need to do to preserve our freedom. And it's really just a beautiful thing. So, I mean, to all of you out there that are finally standing up and finally going after this thing, and going after our freedom, thank God. I mean, thank God for all of you, right? People are. I see Crazy Train, your comment. People are seeing that it's real. It has been real. And there were times where I doubted it. I thought, geez, am I paranoid? Am I buying into all these different things that I'm being told? And, am I brainwashed? I mean, these were things that I thought about. But finally now we are seeing the narrative fall apart. And for me now, when I look at this, I do realize now that this was without a doubt, an organized attack. And when you look even in our country, you look at, President Biden, you look at Harris, you look at the whole woke squad of AOC and that whole group. And to me, it seems like that they have been implementing or putting their people in the key roles in major democratic cities. And they are really pushing a narrative like we've never seen in this country before. We're seeing it in Boston right now. I mean, finally, thank God, the Department of Education came out yesterday and they announced that the mask mandates in the schools are over. They are over as February 28th. And I can't tell you, I mean, how much that means to me. I can't tell you how much that means to my family and my children. And I mean, we've been seeing kids who have been committing suicide because of the anxiety that they've been dealing with for the last couple of years. I mean, for me, I'm an old guy. I'm 54 years old. I'm not social anyway. So for me to literally stay home for the last couple of years isn't really a big difference from my normal everyday life. I avoid social interactions if I can or whenever I can. I'm kind of a homebody anyway. So for me, it hasn't really affected me too much. But when you think about young kids who the only experience they've known in school is with a mask on, they haven't seen their teachers' faces. They haven't seen their friends' faces. They're being yelled at all the time to pull the mask up. They're getting detentions if the mask isn't worn properly. You think about the anxiety and the stress that these poor kids have been under the last couple of years. I mean, I don't think we've fully seen the damage this has done to all of these children, and we're not going to see it for quite some time to see what type of I guess fallout we have with these kids. And I look at the one college that's near me now. For those of you that are in different parts of the country, you may not know this school, but there's a pretty well-known school in Worcester, Massachusetts called WPI. It's very similar to like a Caltech or very similar to an MIT. You have really very bright, engineering students, people that are really just bright people. I wouldn't have even come close to getting into that college, but the people are geniuses. Over the last 3 to 4 months at this one particular relatively small college, 7, you heard me right. I didn't say 3, I didn't say 1, 7 of their students have committed suicide. 7. And from what I heard from this school is you have these students that are already, high performing type A personalities who are going to school and carry a very heavy course load. They haven't been able to go to parties. They haven't been able to go out. They've been basically prevented from any type of social activity. Even in their dorms, they were being forced to wear masks in all common areas. And now 7 of these kids are no longer with us. And to me, that absolutely breaks my heart because, again, we've had this pandemic for the last couple of years now. And I think all of us can admit that not many children and younger people who are healthy have been affected by this disease. And to see 7 promising, young, brilliant people have taken their lives over this is just absolutely heartbreaking to me. So it's just, it's very sad, but I'm starting to finally see that we have some light. Again, as I said, Massachusetts, we've been locked down. The state finally said, the mask mandates in the state are gone. The school mask mandates are now gone. But then it's up to each individual school district to decide whether or not their superintendent and their school committees want to continue on with mask mandates. Now, most of the school districts are now saying that the mask mandates are over. Like the district that we live in, thank God the superintendent came out very quickly yesterday and sent an email out to all the parents that said, as of February 28th, masks are now optional in the school. And I can't tell you how happy that made my children. I mean, they have been so anxious, so stressed, and so just under a rock over the last couple of years. This really is just going to make their life so much better and allow them to actually enjoy their youth. I mean, for most of us, when you become an adult, as you all know, being an adult isn't easy. It's hard. I mean, there's a lot of pressures. There's financial pressures. There's pressures, in all different areas in your life. And for children, they at least for a period of time get to enjoy their youth and get to have fun and get to spend time with their friends. And that's all been taken away from them from the last couple of years. So for those of you that are in here right now, if you could please share my live, I'd greatly appreciate it. I know this was a pop-up show, and you're going to be able to catch this over the weekend on the Epic Strategy Network as well with Ralph William. Hopefully all of you have downloaded that app and checked it out. But the one thing that really gets me is, as you all know, and this is not going to be entirely a political show. I just want to talk about this stuff in the beginning, but you're all very familiar with what's been happening. Hey, Radio Parley, good to see you. In Boston over the last several months, we've had a new mayor, and she's getting really, really hammered in Massachusetts right now, where she's coming in kind of with the, quote unquote woke agenda. And she has instituted vaccine ID mandates in restaurants. There have been fights in restaurants. People are resisting. No one's going into Boston to spend money at these restaurants. People are now in danger of losing their businesses. They can't feed their families. So, there's been all this stuff. She's threatening to fire the police officers and the firefighters in Boston because they won't get the mandate. And, there are people protesting outside of her house 24/7 all the time. Caps, what's up, brother? Good to see you. So it's just been kind of crazy what's going on. So finally, the Department of Education, like I said earlier, came out and said today that the mask mandates are now done. They're not going to require them in schools anymore. So, all of these children are celebrating and they're happy. Well, the mayor of Boston came out yesterday and she said, yeah, well, maybe that's what the Department of Education says. However, in Boston, we are not going to end the mask mandates on February 28th. They're going to require and continue to require these children to wear masks in the schools past the date in which the state has removed the mask mandates. Doss, what's up, brother? Good to see you. So it's just kind of crazy what's going on here. But for me, I'm finally at a place where I'm starting to feel optimistic. I'm feeling like things maybe are getting a little bit better. And really, this is just a credit to all the people out there that have fought this thing and have believed that we've been up against this tyrannical machine, whatever it may be, that's been out to take away our freedom. And, you call it the Great Reset, call it whatever you want. But to me now, when I'm seeing this narrative start to fall apart in Canada, it's falling apart in the United States, and you've got the Democrats or the woke people that are still trying to piece this thing together. They've got to realize this is over. This is over. The American people have spoken, and it makes me feel good that we the people actually mean something. So I see Cap saying that England has lifted the mandates. That's great. So it's not just, over here on this side of the pond. It's happening over in England. It's happening in other places as well. And to me, it just gives me hope that maybe we're getting back to some sense of normal. I hope that's the case. But I personally believe that we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to continue to see the left push this narrative. And what they're going to do right now is they seem like they're beaten. They seem like they're recoiling and they're, pulling back, but they're going to regroup. There's no doubt that next fall, next winter, especially when the midterm elections are happening, they're going to try to lock things down again. They're still in power, and there's going to be some new dangerous variant of the Omicron or Delta or COVID. Lock it down again. The one good thing, there have been several good things, but the one main good thing I think that's come out of this, we got Caps in the room right now, is I think that this has helped us unite as a country a little bit and unite as a world a little bit. With the different platforms, like you've got, podcasts, you've got YouTube, you've got all these different ways now where people from all across the world can communicate with one another. And I do believe that this is pulling us all together and helping us unite a little bit. So I'm looking at Eric's comment. He said, other trending stories of the week, Rumble presenting Joe Rogan with a $100 million offer to quit Spotify, which Rogan has turned down. Doss, you haven't been around for a while. I'm starting to think the mayor of Boston had you locked up. That's true, dude. I'll tell you, I'm not lying. I'm a little afraid that I'm going to be arrested if I go into Boston. As you've all seen, I've been kind of pretty vocal on Twitter with my comments about the mayor. But man, she is destroying this city. And I'm going to talk about Joe Rogan in a second, Eric. But, what she doesn't understand is Boston is a weird place. Doss knows it. He's from here. Boston is a weird place. We've had decades upon decades of Democratic leaders in this city. However, Boston is a very unique Democratic city where, honestly, I think that if people really sat down and thought about what they believed in, I think you would find that a lot of Bostonians would actually identify as Republicans more than Democrats. We actually have conservative Democrats in this area. And when you have someone come into Boston who's an outsider, who thinks that they're going to revolutionize this city, you have no idea the can of worms that you are opening up in this city. I mean, Boston is still the city where the Boston Tea Party happened. And if you could see the full assault that this mayor is under right now in Boston, I wouldn't want to be her. I would not want to be her. The unions, I mean, they're after her. I mean, every morning at 6 a.m., the protesters are outside of her house. And as soon as the noise ordinance goes away, they start, they've got bullhorns, they've got whistles, they've got bells, they're screaming. Every public appearance she makes, they're following her everywhere she goes and blowing whistles and screaming through bullhorns everywhere she goes. I mean, she cannot literally go anywhere. The word has it from some of the inside people in Boston is that she's already been in the hospital now 3 to 4 times with panic attacks and anxiety. And honestly, I feel bad for her. I really do. I don't hate this woman. This woman, believes in what she's doing. Like all of us believe what we do on a daily basis. I don't feel that what she's doing is the right thing to do. And welcome to everybody coming in. I see you all coming in. Thank you very much. I know I'm popping up today. Mike, Woody, everybody coming in. Doss, Dre, Christ, I see coming in as well. So welcome to everybody coming into the show. I greatly appreciate it. That guy, welcome. I see you as well. So I thank all of you coming in. The wankers are here. I know I haven't been on in a week. I've just been busy with work and all kinds of stuff. I actually already today, it's 12:30 Eastern time. I've already driven 3 hours north to New Hampshire, went to a 2-hour meeting and then drove home. So I've already been out and about. I just got back home. Hey, Mike from Tampa Bay, I got to tell you, I'm coming to Florida in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be there, brother. I think my wife booked the flights. I think we're flying into Tampa, but I know we're going to spend time. We're going to Busch Gardens. We're going to be at SeaWorld. We're going down to Fort Myers. So, dude, if I end up in the Tampa area, I'd love to meet up with you. So you'll have to send me a message with your cell phone. If I'm going to be in the Tampa area, even if we meet up for like a quick drink or something, it'd be nice to meet you in person. So I can't wait to escape the cold and get there. So listen, we've been talking about politics a little bit. Eric, if you want to call in, call in. I'm going to open up the phone lines in probably about 10 minutes for everybody else. So if anybody else wants to call in, they can. But, I see Crazy Lady was here. Welcome to everybody coming in. So, Valentine's Day is coming up. So who's excited for Valentine's Day? Anybody? It's funny. I've been looking up these lists. Okay. And I'm going to go through one of these really quickly. And it was funny. I started looking before the show for gift suggestions for like men and women. There are like 10 billion links for gift suggestions for women, but there's like none for men. And some of the gift suggestions I saw were absolutely ridiculous. I found this one here that are the 23 best Valentine's Day gifts for her. Now, I've got to admit, even though my wife and I had our first date on Valentine's Day, believe it or not, we are not huge Valentine's Day people. She gets kind of aggravated if I buy her roses because she knows they cost over $100, and she's like, that's a waste of money. So we end up, maybe exchanging cards and whatever else. We don't do anything extravagant, for Valentine's Day, but I know a lot of people do. And I kind of found this list, and this is kind of funny. So I'm going to go down through this quickly. And I'd love to see some of the comments in here also about some of the Valentine's Day gifts maybe you buy for your significant other. Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you not? Do you buy things? Do you give cards? What do you do? But here are very quickly the list. I'm going to go through these fast. So number 1, kissable lips. So apparently a man is supposed to go out and buy lipstick and lip treatment for his significant other. I'm sorry. I literally know nothing about lipstick or anything to do with what goes on a woman's lips. If you have kissable lips, that's fantastic. I'd be happy to kiss my wife with her kissable lips. But as far as me going out and buying lipstick, probably not going to happen. All right, number 2, a proper sleepover bag. Now, this one concerns me from my perspective. Now, I guess if I had a girlfriend, you're giving her a sleepover bag. You want her to look good when she's coming over to sleep at your place if you don't live together. But if my wife at this point, after 20 years of marriage, is asking me for a sleepover bag, I'm going to have some questions to ask, like, where are you going, who you're sleeping with. So I'm not buying my wife a proper sleepover bag. If she wants to sleep over, she can sleep over here. I don't want her going to anybody else's house. After 20 years, I think I've at least earned that. So a proper sleepover bag, maybe, oh my God. And look at this Koyana classic overnight bag. They even give you like little links and everything if you want to buy this stuff. So this is all obviously created to sell stuff at Valentine's Day. The price of this little sleepover bag, it's tiny, is $265. $265 for a little sleepover bag? Oh my God, I'm too cheap. There's no way. Now, I wish I had video on this one. I like this next one. A wear everywhere nightgown. Now, they show this young woman. She's very pretty, African-American lady, very beautiful woman. She's got this nightgown on. Now, honestly, this nightgown, my wife doesn't wear nightgowns. She goes to, sleep in t-shirts or whatever. But now this nightgown looks like something my 97-year-old grandmother would wear. Now, I get it, women, sexy lingerie for Valentine's Day. Let's face it, guys, that's more of a gift for us than it is for them. So if you're buying something super sexy for your girl, you get a little bit of an eye roll, and hopefully you've been on your best behavior, and maybe she'll put that on for you at some point. But this nightgown, a wear everything nightgown, I'm not seeing it, not particularly beautiful. And I think if I bought that for my wife, I'd worry that she'd be insulted. I mean, maybe she wouldn't. But again, this thing, it's a Caroline nap dress, whatever the hell that is. And this was $100 for this thing at the time of publication. So, maybe it's comfortable. You're not objectifying her body. I don't know. I don't get it. But that's what I'm seeing here. All right, here we go. Now, grown-up chocolates. All right, so this one cracks me up, and I'll tell you why. They have this fancy box of chocolates here, and they call them grown-up chocolates. Let me scroll down and see the price here. All right, okay, that's not terrible. So Michael Cluzel chocolate truffles, milk and dark. They look fancy. $40 at the time of publication. All right, that's not terrible. $40. Now for me, I do buy chocolate occasionally, but usually I go to like Walgreens or CVS, one of the local pharmacies, and I find like that $3 box of chocolate, and I give that to my wife, and she's happy with that. So, $40, probably not. I could buy $40 worth of chocolate for my entire family. So, as far as fancy chocolate, I'm probably not doing that. But let's see. I see that guy coming on. I'm too sad. Emo kid for Valentine's Day. My children, I'm old, so bear with me. My kids just explained to me what an emo child is. I didn't even know what it was. To me, it kind of looks almost like a goth kid from like when I was younger. But, personally, I think the emo thing is kind of cool. I know. I think it's kind of neat. None of my kids are emos. My daughter is not. And of course, I keep accidentally calling them emus. And my kids are like, it's not an animal, it's a person. I'm like, all right, sorry, I got that wrong. But anyway, so for me, Valentine's Day, not a huge thing in my family, but we got some more things on this list. So the chocolate one kind of cracked me up a little bit. Let me buzz through this. I always say that it's going to be quick, and I end up talking about things for like 3 hours. Okay, Chic Slippers. Now, okay, I get the concept, but looking at the slippers they're showing in this picture, they're not very chic. Glarips wool slippers, open heel, and these are $100 at the time of publication. Sorry, I'm not buying these slippers for anybody for $100. I'll take a nice pair of LL Bean slippers. They're more comfortable and they're less money. And I guess, again, it's not about me. It's about my significant other. But I can't see myself buying my wife, especially $100 slippers. She'd probably hit me if I did that and yell at me for being stupid. All right, here we go. This one's a good one. I wish I had pictures. A robe for lounging. And they show this woman in the kitchen. She's standing in the kitchen wearing this big baggy robe. Her hair's a mess. There's things on the counter like dishes and stuff like that. So she's obviously looking like she just woke up. She's kind of like the disheveled mother. And she's got this big baggy robe on. So, oh my God, this is a Notori Shangri-La robe. Again, $100 for this robe. And again, I'm not seeing it. I mean, is it just me, or do they jack up the prices and all this Valentine's Day stuff? But I'm not seeing anything Shangri-La about this robe, and I'm certainly not spending $100 on that thing. So let's see. Okay, a bracelet with birthstones. Now, my wife's not a big jewelry person because she works in hospitals and in the medical field. So she doesn't really wear a lot of jewelry because of that. But now this is kind of cute. These are bracelets with birthstones. And I could see even my daughter liking something like this. Now, these are birthstone bracelets from Danique Jewelry on Etsy. So it's one of those Etsy accounts, and they started about $35 at the time of publication. Now, one thing I always worry about, I've been in the sales business for a long time. Whenever someone says starting at, that usually means that the cheapest piece of shit that we have starts at $35, and we have plenty of things once we get you in the door with that low $35 price that will sell you for $200. So just beware of that one. If you check out Danique's jewelry on Etsy, that $35 is probably the loss leader that's going to get you in and spend more money. But I got to say, the little bracelet they're showing is cute. I'd like to know if that's actually the $35 bracelet, though. I'm guessing no. All right. Now, what the hell is this thing? A caddy cloth. Has anyone ever heard of these before? A caddy cloth? I don't even know what this is. This is Kabamuru Girls' Day Furoshiki, whatever the hell that says. It's $18 at the time of publication. I literally don't even know what this is. It's like this little cloth with little like weird cats all over it playing musical instruments. And I mean, if I gave this to my wife, I mean, I can't see that she's going to enjoy this, but this says, despite its name, Japan's annual Girls' Day Humarasuri, whatever the hell it says, is not actually a celebration of girls so much as a celebration of dolls depicting the emperor and the empress. You know what? I'm done. I don't need to read any more about that. The DeVito household will not be purchasing one of those. Oh, here we go now. Now, matching undies. Now we're kind of getting more in the area where I'm kind of getting some interest. And I got to give credit, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm actually really happy to start to see these things. They actually have a woman in this ad that's a little bit overweight. And for me, there's nothing wrong with a woman that maybe has a few extra pounds. I think all women are beautiful, and I mean this. A woman that's a little bit heavy, it's funny. Women are so hard on themselves. For me, I could care less. I mean, if I'm in love with someone and if they have a few extra pounds, who cares? I mean, I've certainly packed on a few extra pounds over the years myself as well. But they show her with these nice heart matching panties and bra, and you know what? I could get behind that. So that's something I could support. And these are Me Undies matching underwear, and they're about $40 at the time of publication. So that's pretty good. I kind of like that. Now, what the hell is this? All right. Again, I'm old, so I don't know what half of this stuff is. Boba, Toil and Trouble. What in the hell is this? It looks like a candle. It's like a box with golden bubbles, all kinds of other stuff in here. So this is a Bar Pa Tea Premium Bubble Tea Kit. I don't even know what bubble tea is. $35, so not a bad price. And it looks like this is from some New York company called Bar Pa Tea. Some of you probably know who that is. I don't, because I'm clueless and I'm not cultured, so I just don't know. All right, here we go. Wine to go. Now, I'm not a drinker, but if you know someone that likes the occasional glass of wine, this is probably not a bad way to go. You can send this gift that keeps on giving. So this is a Wine Slater gift set. So this is actually a gift set. It's not actually the wine. And it looks like this is something you could bring on you with a picnic or whatever. It's $75, and they're kind of trendy and kind of cool looking. So I kind of like that. It's kind of a nice idea. And what the hell's this? An adorable bento box. What is a bento box? I don't even know what this is. Again, a Takanada bento box. The microwave and dishwasher safe compartments in the bento box offers, infinite snack storage options. So this is if you're bringing your lunch to work, whatever, you can bring it in this little bento box. Kind of cute, I guess. $40. I don't know. We don't really get those out in the middle of nowhere where I live. Oh, here we go. Now we're talking tequila for the ladies. So for the ladies that like to maybe throw back a shot every now and then, tequila's always been my favorite. I'm a big tequila guy. So this is La Grotnada Respondo Tequila, $40 for a nice bottle, a decorative bottle of tequila. That's a win in my book. I'll do that. Now, this I know is kind of cool. My daughter likes these retro cool instant cameras. My daughter actually asked for one of these for Christmas a couple of years ago, and she loved it. So this is a Fujimax Instamax Mini 9, $65 at the time of publication. Oh my God. All right, now I did I did not look at this entire list, and here we go. This is not planned. This was not something I had seen and planned to joke about it. The next one on the list, we've gone from the bento box, the tea, and comfortable pajamas to the best vibrator. So here we go. We've taken this now to an X-rated show. So this is called the Magic Wand Rechargeable. So if it's called the Magic Wand, I mean, it's got to have some skills, I'm guessing. So the Magic Wand Rechargeable. So that would be kind of scary though, if it doesn't take batteries. Now, if you're getting down to business and you're using this thing and all of a sudden the charge runs out, I mean, that's kind of disappointing. I don't know if that's considered like teasing yourself or whatever it is, but this one's kind of expensive, $150 at the time of publication. Okay, I got to read the description on this one, so bear with me. And for the people making comments, I'm off the page, so I can't see what you're saying if there are any comments coming in, and hopefully there's some people left in the live. But here we go. The Magic Wand Rechargeable, $150 at the time of publication. Here you go. Ready? The first line, I'm not going to be able to say this without laughing. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it. So, what? Okay, this is even better. Wirecutter has even tested 30 vibrator models over 7 years. And this one is the absolute best among them. It is called, again, ladies, the Magic Wand. So if you're looking, they've already done the groundwork. They've tested 30 vibrators. Now, is it the same person that tests all 30, or do they have multiple people testing them? I would think to really know which is the best vibrator, you'd have to have the same person test all 30. Am I wrong? Because again, who knows, what you're into. So anyway, they've tested 30 of these things, and whoever this woman is probably exhausted now. But the Magic Wand is apparently the best. So here we go. You ready? The vibrator offers multiple levels of stimulation and different vibrating patterns. That sounds kind of nice. We think the rechargeable version is worth springing for over the original because it's easier to clean. Clean vibrator is very important. It's quieter. You don't want the neighbors knowing. And it offers more variation in intensity in vibration patterns. And as research editor Christina Kaliza points out, so she's a research editor. Christina, what you been doing with your time, lady? The silicone head also doubles as the perfect fake microphone if you like to serenade your sweetheart before the fun starts. Now, all right, so if you're going to use this thing as a fake microphone, hopefully it's been washed beforehand, and hopefully it's not being used by multiple partners. So there we go. Ladies, you know what? I'm going to end it there. There may be other, I'm not going to end it. I mean, who knows what's next? So the Magic Wand rechargeable. Okay, and after that, the Mystic Candle. So now, are you supposed to use the Mystic Candle when you pull out the Magic Wand vibrator? So the Mystic Candle is about $40 at the time of publication, and you can get them in birthday different candles, I guess. A heavenly throw blanket. So if you're cold when you're using the Magic Wand, you can throw this beautiful throw blanket on for $130. It's a Garnet Hill wool and cashmere throw. $130 for a blanket. No. Endless bubbles. So I guess this is for the bubble bath. Now you have to wonder, is the Magic Wand vibrator, is it waterproof? Can you use that in the bathtub? Because they're giving you now bubbles. So I don't know. I'm all like thrown off now. Okay, a fire pit. That's kind of cool. $300. Solo stove bonfire is another thing. Let's see, ticket to the outdoors, tickets to concerts, whatever. Okay, I'm bored with this list. I'm going to go back to the page. So anyway, everybody that's in here, welcome. I'm sorry, I haven't seen any comments in a while. But Eric, let me go to you real quick. I mean, Valentine's Day coming up. Now, do you have anyone significant in your life, Eric? Or are you still playing the field and single at this point?
Still don't have anybody at this time, but
I'm sorry to hear that. Now, are you hoping to meet somebody, or are you just kind of enjoying the single life?
I mean, I guess these things just take time, because I know nothing is like overnight.
Yeah. How old are you again? I remember you told me. I always forget.
37.
37? Yeah, you're still a young guy, though. I mean, honestly, I didn't get married till I was 33. Didn't have our first kid until I was 35. So I was a little bit younger than you, when all that stuff happened. So hang in there. So let's see. I see some comments coming in here. A full now. See, let's talk about that, dude. If we have any guys in here, what are the top 3 gifts a man would like to get? All right, forget the list. I don't give a shit about that. Now I'm thinking, for me, definitely number 1 would be sex. So if I can get sex on Valentine's Day, that would be without a doubt my number 1, probably my number 2 and my number 3. But what other gifts do men like? I mean, I guess concert tickets, sport tickets. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'm not one that really gets into Valentine's Day at all. I guess sex would be it for me. Yeah, that's one of the things I would kind of like. So hopefully, I will go out and get my wife something, but I'm not getting to the damn Magic Wand thing there, because that's going to basically just remove me from the equation. Judging that thing being rechargeable and being that it costs $150, it's probably better at it than I am. So what the hell do I want to make myself irrelevant for? I'm not doing it. So I'm not giving her that. I'm going to get her the big bathrobe, and then I'm going to move on and ask her for sex. So that's what my Valentine's Day is going to be. So Eric, are you excited about the Super Bowl at all? We got that coming up on Sunday. I know you're not a big sports guy. What do you think? You excited?
Well, I know I probably don't pay too much attention to the Super Bowl, but I know that I know it's the Rams and the Bengals, but I know it'd be interesting to see the Bengals pull off a win.
That's kind of how I feel
Yeah,
too. Like
that's
I don't
Mr.
really have a
A and
horse in the
John
race either
Gale's home
way.
team.
And I will probably watch some of the game. I don't know if I'll watch the whole game, but I like to see the Bengals win. I mean, they're a team that hasn't won, and I've got some people I work with that are from that area. And it'd be kind of nice to see a team that hasn't won the Super Bowl before win. So let me know what you guys predict out there. Who do you think's going to win? I guess my prediction, I'd like to see the Bengals win, but I do think the Rams are a pretty good team. So we'll see if the Bengals can find a way to beat them. But they've done it so far, man. They've been really good through the playoffs. And I don't know. So anyway, I'm looking at some of the news stories, Eric, and I wanted to talk very briefly before I get into this. Now, you mentioned Joe Rogan. Now, could you imagine he was offered $100 million to leave Spotify and he turned it down? Could you imagine being in a position in your life where you can literally turn down $100 million? I mean, to me, that's amazing, right? That's just crazy.
Well, yeah, and I kind of think, I mean, that it's very disappointing that he would want to turn down an offer to you know it's unfortunate. Spotify has already resorted to censoring him, and you're seeing how they're caving and cratering to irrelevant has-been musicians like Neil Young, who maybe if Neil Young was spent more time creating original music and less time fixating over Joe Rogan, like Joe Rogan had on a doctor that corroborated Donald Trump. You know, and I think one thing I'm in agreement with Donald Trump on, even if Joe Rogan is not a big fan of Donald Trump, is the worst thing you can do is apologize, because when you apologize, you're letting your enemies win.
It's true. And I thought about that too, because I know there was a lot of talk about that. And I saw him come out to apologize. And you know what's tough? Joe Rogan seems like he's a decent guy. I mean, I don't know him. None of us know him for real, what type of person he is.
That
But he
is
seems
true.
like he's a good guy. He seems like he has real conversations with people. And probably when he started to get attacked, he probably felt that down deep, maybe apologizing was the right thing to do, because he doesn't want to offend people. And honestly, I'm no Joe Rogan, but I mean, I feel the same way. I don't want to piss people off, and I don't want people not to like me, but I think I also have to be true to myself. And it is true, when someone like Joe Rogan comes out and he apologizes, it's one of those things where he apologizes and they just come after him full bore. They're not going to appreciate the apology. They're not going to thank him for apologizing if he offended anybody. They smell blood in the water and they're coming after him to destroy him. And that's what they've done. I mean, we've seen this over the last number of years. The summer riots in 2020, the verdict of George Floyd was something that was very polarizing. I mean, obviously there was a lot of people that felt that the police officer killed George Floyd on purpose. And, again, I certainly think the officer made a very bad decision, but you saw politicians out there, and you saw the left mainstream media. They were out there doing everything they could to fan the flames of what was happening in the country at that point. And they kept calling it peaceful protest. So here, the left has proven that they will do anything they can to destroy the right. And I don't think the right at all times has done the same thing to fight against the left. And I think at some point, the right needs to decide, are we going to fight for what we believe in? Because I think if we had fought maybe a little bit more vehemently during the last election, maybe we would not have this paper president in place right now, who obviously has cognitive issues, who obviously doesn't know what he's doing. And again, I mean, the country is in shambles. We're looking at inflation like we've never seen. We're seeing, again, not, he's calling it job growth, but basically it's been people who have been out of work because of COVID are coming back to work. That's not exactly job growth. And we're seeing all these different things. Yeah, paper tiger. He is, absolutely. So, I think at some point we need to start fighting. And I'm telling you right now, and you guys can all say you heard it here first. It is February. The mask mandates are coming, are being released. The vaccine IDs are being voted down in many places. Trudeau's under fire. Biden's under fire. The woke squad's under fire. And you're going to have a spring and summer where we don't have lockdowns. We don't have restrictions. We don't have the types of things that we've seen over the last couple of years. However, don't think for a second these things are going away permanently. They are not. We have one of the biggest elections coming up in American history later this year. This is for the heart and soul of the United States of America. We've got the midterm elections coming up. Things are not going well for Biden. People right now are expecting a huge red wave. People are calling it the red tsunami. People believe that what we're going to see at the end of the year is the Republican right taking over Congress, and who knows, possibly impeaching this president who many people believe stole the election. And I think that once all of that begins to happen, you are going to see the Democratic left throw up the Hail Mary. They are going to look to come up with the next new shiny COVID-19 variant that's the most deadliest yet. It's the most contagious yet. We have to lock down. We can't leave our houses. We can't go out to vote. We have to preserve mail-in ballots. And you are going to see again an onslaught of illegal ballots coming into the election. They are going to try to fix this thing. And I've said it to people, and people are like, well, no, they kind of got caught the first time. They didn't get caught. Biden's still president. I mean, in my opinion, there was tangible proof that these things happened. I mean, if you look at all across the country, all the voting polls were shut down, water main breaks, windows were blocked. We had videos of suitcases being taken out from under tables and fed into the voting machines. I mean, there was definitive proof that these things happened. But, if you think this is over, it's not over. They're going to come back. What's happening in Canada will come to an end. The truckers will go home. We will have a peaceful summer. We will have a beginning of the fall will be peaceful. But as we inch closer to those midterm elections, the lockdowns are going to begin. They're going to try to re-implement their control. And when they do it, the American people and the Canadian people and the people across the pond, we all need to stand up and fight for our independence. I mean, it's a very rough comparison comparing what's going on. And Caps, if you're still here, I apologize, but I'm going to talk about the Revolutionary War when we fought England. But I mean, in this country, we were fighting tyranny at that time when, you had the New World and you had England still had control over the United States, and, people fought back against tyranny. Now we're fighting back against worldwide tyranny. And if you think for a second that this tyranny is over and they're going to roll up the carpet and give up, they're not. They're going to regroup. They're going to re-strategize, and they're going to come at us again. And their goal is going to be to do anything they can to keep the Republicans out of office at the end of the year. And also, they're going to do anything they can to make sure that Donald Trump is not back in president. Tron Cat, meow. Welcome to the show. So, Eric, I can ask you a question. Would you be surprised if sometime this year, in the year, assassination attempt on the life of Donald J. Trump?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I know they're scared to death of the Orange Man coming back. But the Orange Man, with Donald Trump, whether you liked him or not, he did so much good for this country. We may not like his personality, and we may not like some of the nasty things that he's been known to say and do. But I think in life you've got to learn to look beyond that and look at like the great policies he had in place, renegotiating these bad trade deals and basically telling other countries that America is sick and tired of footing the bill for them and policing countries that need to police themselves.
No, it's true. I mean, I think, honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. If there was an assassination attempt on his life, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
But if you look at Biden and Harris, they want to, be the apologists and appeasers, and they basically want to kneel over and basically kiss and lick the ass of China and Russia and other countries, and try to play nice with them, thinking that we can reason with them when we know that we just simply cannot reason with them.
No, well, that's the thing. I look at Biden and Harris, and I'm trying honestly not to be a hateful person. I want everybody in here that knows. I get fired up sometimes. I do these shows when I get upset sometimes, and I talk about things. But honestly, I truly believe that in this country, we really need to unite. Now, I know, Eric, you saw a couple of my Twitter posts today, and it's true. I'm a 54-year-old white man. I'm a registered independent. I vote Republican now, but I've voted Democrat in my life. I've never seen a time in this country when we're more divided than we are right now. And I do believe that we really need to unite, black people, white people. I've talked about this before, gay people, straight people. It can't be us versus them all the time, because that's what the powers that be want. We've got to find a way to unite, and we've got to pull together. And I think if we can pull together, and I think we're starting to see that now, we the people can demand the way our government's going to run. And I think that if we can regain control of the Congress and maybe get someone in like Trump, I mean, I would be the happiest person on the face of the earth if he got back in and the first executive order he signed was term limits for all politicians. Because until we have term limits, we are never going to be free. We're never going to be free. The term limits would be something where we would prevent people like Pelosi. We would prevent people like McConnell. We would prevent people on both sides of the aisle that become career politicians. That's not what the Constitution had intended. That is not what the people that constructed this new country meant for all of us. They meant for these politicians to be public servants. They were farmers that would come off the field and they would serve their country. They were people, regular people that would come in and vote their conscience to make this country a better place. Instead, what this has morphed into, it's morphed into very wealthy people, very powerful people that are getting money from all the big companies, Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson as of late, but it goes both ways. ExxonMobil, all the different companies contribute to their funds and they are buying these politicians. These politicians are making more money than most of us make. They get lifetime pensions. They get lifetime health care. They can be in office for 50 years. And you've got someone even like Nancy Pelosi, who's made, $200,000 a year. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money. But $200,000 a year doesn't get you a $75 million net worth. It just doesn't. I don't care how good of an investor you are. I don't care. Bill Clinton, what did he make as president? $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year, whatever the president makes. He made that kind of money. But how did he have enough money to create the Clinton Foundation, where they have, hundreds of millions of dollars in this foundation where he can basically pull the money out and use it any way that he wants? This is not what our founding fathers intended for any of us. So I'm hoping that once we get through this COVID mess and once we get through these tyrannical mandates, hopefully at some point we get a person in office that will do the right thing and institute term limits for all politicians. I'm talking school committee members. I'm talking mayors. I'm talking local city councilors, right on up through Congress and the president.
School boards.
We can't have people that are spending their lives, in office. It's just not right. And it's been to the detriment of our country, unfortunately. So I see Chin Williams is in the show. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. And thank you for everybody that's coming in. I really greatly appreciate all of the people that have come in today. I know this was kind of a surprise pop-up show, but I wanted to comment on a couple of quick stories I'm seeing right now. I was talking earlier about the masks and how states are finally removing the mask mandates and doing all that stuff. And I'm seeing a story right now. I'm not sure where this happened, but I'm going to click on this really quickly. Now I'm seeing here, they're talking about a dangerous double standard. And there's actually a video, and it's called basically Brazen Hypocrisy Exposed after a maskless parent was literally dragged out of a school board meeting. And they show the video of this person, literally, they're ripping him off his chair because he's not wearing a mask and pulling him out of the school committee meeting. I'm going to click on this and see if I can find where this is. Hold on one second. And of course, the link isn't working. It looks like I have slow internet. So hopefully you guys are all still with me. Here it is. All right. So it just popped up. Maskless New York parent booted from school board meeting days after school officials posed maskless. So here you go. And here's the pictures. It shows people in this district or the administrators posing without masks altogether. And it says here, a Western New York parent was dragged out of a school board meeting by security for not wearing a mask days after members of that school board and other local officials were photographed maskless at an official event. Dave Callis is the guy's name. He's a parent attending a school board meeting in Webster, New York. I'm not sure where that is. I guess it's way out in upstate New York. Can be seen on video being grabbed by a security guard by his collar and then literally pulled out of his chair as he sat quietly waiting his turn to speak at the meeting on Tuesday. Callis told Fox News that the security guard asked him twice to put his mask on. Callis said he responded by thanking him for his opinion, but declined. And because, you have to see this picture. There's a picture of this guy. The gentleman in his chair is like leaning forward. He's trying to get away from this guy, and the guy has got him almost by the hood of his jacket and has got one hand on the hood, yanking him, and he's got the other hand on his chair, trying to pull the chair out from underneath him. And I mean, to me, is this the type of country that we want to live in, where all of these freedoms are being taken away from us? And to me, Eric, I think we've all learned in elementary school and on up that violence is never okay. And to pull someone out of a school committee meeting in this violent manner, I mean, it's just not right. It shouldn't be happening. And I think that anytime as Americans we see things like these happening, we need to stand up, but we need to speak out against these things because they're going to continue. And this is tyranny. I mean, we live in a free country. If there are people out there that want to wear masks, and if there are people out there that want to get vaccinated, go do it. But we don't have the right to tell other people what to do with their bodies. And that goes down to the whole my body, my choice thing that the Democrats have been throwing in everybody's face over the last 40 years when it comes to abortion. I mean, for me, I'm a guy that's vaccinated, but if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's okay. You don't have to. It's your choice. And I don't know why all these people are afraid of someone not wearing a mask. I mean, if they're all vaccinated and they're all wearing their masks, what do they have to be afraid of, Eric? I mean, that's the one thing I don't understand. And this is just a violent attack on this poor guy. I mean, how can you explain it, Eric? Why are people feeling like they can put hands on other people and violently remove them over a mask mandate that isn't even officially a law? I mean, a mandate is a request. It's not a law. I mean, what are your feelings on that? Hey, Dora, welcome.
I mean, I don't agree with like what that school board done there, but you probably have like school boards where they're like shutting off the microphones, like on the board members being called out. But you know what, right? If Ronald Reagan was alive and he was at that school board meeting, the one thing he would say to those school board members, "I'm paying for this microphone," and he was right when he used that one quote before.
Yeah, you're in the matrix a little bit there, Eric. So let me take over for a second and just talk until you drive back into a better location. But I think, by the end of the show, I'm going to go a few more minutes, and then we're going to end this. This was a pop-up show, and I might actually do a rock show later on. I'm looking to do maybe a music show just to kind of chill out. So if any of you guys are into classic rock and you see me pop up again later today or over the weekend, check it out. I play some pretty good music. So if you're into old, AC/DC, that type of music, music from the 70s, rock music, I'm going to probably have one of those shows where I play a bunch of that. There won't be much talk. We'll get on chill and just listen to some music. So if you're an old rock fan, make sure you pop on and check that out when I do my show. But the old saying, Eric, freedom isn't free. I mean, it's so true that we do have freedom, but the freedom that we have in this country right now is not something that's just been given to us. We've had soldiers, we've had heroes that have had to fight for our freedom, and freedom in this country and across the world is always under attack. We have to preserve the freedom. And, in this country, I think we're pretty rusty. We've got a lot of people that haven't had to fight for anything in a very long time. And you have to wonder sometimes, I've thought about this, Eric. Let me throw this out there. Now, do you think that what we've seen over the last 30 years, and welcome to everybody coming to the show, I appreciate it. But over the last, years, society, and bear with me as I explain this, I'll try to get it out properly, but we've seen society do basically an all-out attack on men. Now, am I wrong about he's misogynist, he's a toxic man, you have to be in touch with your feelings, you have to be sensitive, attempt to create pronouns than he is in preserving freedom. And you have to wonder, has this been a planned attack on our country by trying to make men more sensitive and make more men in touch with their feelings, and maybe putting things in the water and in the food that's actually caused men to maybe not be as masculine as they were in previous generations? Because let's face it, if you're going to war, you don't want a guy in there fighting that's in touch with his pronouns. You want a guy that's going to go into war that can kick ass and preserve your freedom. And if you have less of those men that are available in this country, because since the time they were born, they were raised by moms who have told them, you have to be sensitive, you have to be in touch with your feelings, don't be a toxic masculine man, don't be a misogynist, and you're constantly under assault for being a man. And for me, I think about the term toxic masculinity quite a bit, and it really bothers me because I'm a man's man. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up, I played football for 11 years, never served in the military, but I think that if I'd had the courage to do that, I probably would have been pretty good at it. I mean, I don't even know if I would have had the courage, because you have to be a special type of brave to be in the military and fight in war. And I don't even know if I have that in me. I mean, it would have been nice to find that out. I think I would have rose to the occasion, but I really don't know. But I consider myself to be a manly man. I'm a masculine guy, 6'4", now 260 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight over the last year, but I'm still a man's man. But to me, a man's man or a masculine man is not someone that abuses women. If you're hitting women or if you're emotionally abusing women, you are not a masculine man. You're a coward. You're a coward. That's what abusive men do. And I think for whatever reason, they've tried to blur the line of what a masculine man is and what maybe a toxic man is. Generally, men that abuse women are men that maybe have been abused themselves, or they're insecure, or they're just controlling, or they're mean people. But I mean, a masculine man, I'm 54 years old. I have never hit a woman in my life. And if you hit a woman in my presence, be ready for me to hit you. It's not acceptable. When I was young, I said stupid things. When I was young, I slept around. I did things I probably shouldn't have done. But at this point in my life, I respect women. I value women, up until the point where women stop respecting me. And I get triggered when I have someone, because I maybe stand up for being a man, I'm told I'm a toxic man or I'm a misogynist. I am not a misogynist. I am not a toxic man. And I think it's time for people to stop basically beating up on men at this point. But I do believe, and let me know what you guys think. Do you guys feel, has this been an orchestrated attack on men over the last 20 years? Are they after men? Are they trying to make men less masculine? Because if you have less masculine men, the country will be easier to take over when that great reset comes. What do you think, Eric? Am I crazy for thinking that? Do you think maybe that's plausible?
Well, I don't think you're crazy at all. Let me ask you something about, like, whenever you do your podcast on your computer,
Yeah.
Are you using a Wi-Fi connection or do you have an Ethernet connection?
Right now I'm using a Wi-Fi connection, but I also I do have the ability to plug it in also. Why am I having like a spotty reception right now?
I've been noticing that, and I think when the old man had Comcast come to his house the other day, the Comcast technician says, doing your podcast like with a Wi-Fi signal might not be a good idea. That it might be best that you be using an Ethernet connection where you're not having, the reception going in and out. I guess that
That's
might
a good
be
idea, though, because I do have one that's literally,
about.
I can reach to my right and just plug it in. I just didn't do it today. So I do have the Wi-Fi plugged in because I came in at the last minute. People are listening. Are you guys having trouble with the audio? Because I know that you're going in and out, Eric. I don't know if you're on your phone, if you're in a bad cellular.
Well, I'm on my phone and I'm doing that on cellular data.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. I went back to Ethernet. Yeah, that's what I may have to do also. I may have to plug it in and do that if I'm having issues with my sound. Hey, Shannon,
Probably
good to see you, by the way.
shows.
Hey, listen, Eric, we're almost at an hour. I didn't realize we were this long on. Let's see, what's this? Us being, yeah, absolutely, that guy. You're right on about that. I agree completely. I think it's time for us to start valuing our men, though. And I'm not saying this because I'm a guy. I mean, for me, I'm an old guy now. I don't give a shit anymore, and for me, though, I look at my sons, I look at the world that they're raised in, and they're not being allowed to be men. They're not being allowed to be, a strong, proud man. And that's unfortunate because, I mean, to me, having a strong, proud woman is an amazing thing. My wife is strong. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. She stands on her own 2 feet. And in my opinion, there's nothing better than that. I love that about her. It doesn't threaten me as a man at all. But I think we also have to get back to valuing men as well, because I think that men don't know what's expected of them anymore. And, men are put on this earth. We are meant to be masculine in most cases. We are protectors. And, people complain about that until they need a protector. And then if you keep beating men down and you prevent men from becoming masculine, then someday we may not have those protectors anymore. And don't get me wrong now, in the military, you have women that are in the military that are kick-ass fighters. And I think that's great also. I think that's extremely sexy. But we need to start standing up for men, and we need to start beating men down all the time. Let's see. I see that guy say, I know a lot of guys horrified at the ideas of their kids sharing a bathroom with a trans person. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that really bothers me. It really doesn't. Even though I'm a Republican, I'm a right winger. I mean, LGBTQ, all cool with me. Gay people, cool with me. I guess I'm secure in myself. So if a transgender person came into the bathroom with me, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. But I guess if someone's uncomfortable with it, I'm not here to judge anybody. And if people are uncomfortable with that, I do understand that, everyone has a different level of comfort and things like that. And you do have to realize that there are some sick people in this world too. So there are people that would probably take advantage of that situation as well. But I don't know if I have strong feelings on that either way. So Eric, why don't you reel off who's coming up? We're already in an hour, and I got to wrap this up and send my recording off to Ralph William for his podcast, for his network. Hey, Dawes.
And I think like two more points I would also get across, but we'll probably continue it on another show. That I saw an interesting story the other day about the reason why Donald Trump and most Republicans refused to accept the results of the 2020 election. And I think in the story it referenced looking no further than the 2016 election and how Hillary and the majority of Democrats and some never Trump and Rhino Republicans refused to accept the results of the 2016 election because Hillary, being the anointed one that she was supposed to win, that Donald Trump should have never won that election, and it's like they've never forgiven Donald Trump for it. And then another point I would make
after hearing the Juanita Broderick interview that we did also, and hearing her talk about what Bill Clinton did to her, and then hearing about what Hillary Clinton did to her afterwards, where she grabbed her arm and threatened her. I can't respect that woman. She's not a good woman. She's a terrible woman. I don't care if she's a Democrat, Republican, Green Party. It doesn't matter to me. She's a bad person. And I don't want any bad people in office commanding our country, So go ahead with your second point.
Well, and then another point I thought about, I know I get that a lot of people may not like Donald Trump, but I think looking at like the roster of like Democrat and Republican candidates, but more so the Republicans, that Donald Trump might very well be the best that Republicans have to offer. But I think, and our friend James from Slightly Serious oftentimes says this on his show, that both political parties basically have the same end goal, but they just have different ways of achieving it. But the thing about most of your Democrat and Republican politicians is they're not really there to serve the best interest of the constituents. Their job is to raise money for their parties, or as we like to call it, that they're busy day in and day out just dialing for dollars.
You got to watch the old, for those of you guys that don't know who he is, look up George Carlin, the comedian, and he did a whole thing about, the Republicans and the Democrats, all politicians, how they are in a select group, the wealthy group. And bad news for all of you out there, none of you are in that group. So it's true, where they are all representing themselves. They're not representing us. They don't give a damn whether or not we have food. They don't give a damn how much money we have in the bank. They want what they want for themselves. And both sides represent that. And you're right. It's just basically on how they do it. You're right. I mean, it's totally true. So, all right, go ahead. He's still alive. Oh, so you talking about Dawes? Yeah, Dawes is alive. He's still here. So, Eric, why don't you run off some of the shows that are coming up, and I'm going to wrap this up. And like I said, look for me doing a rock show later. If I have some time, I might get on and spin some rock tunes. So come and join me.
Well, I know coming up on Podbean today. Well, coming up on Podbean Live today, I know you'll have the Frankie D show. He'll be going live at 4 p.m. Eastern time after he wraps up his YouTube show. John Gill, he's supposed to be on at 5 p.m. Eastern time today. Hopefully he's feeling better. And then 7 p.m. Eastern time, you've got Felix with This Swap Doesn't Lie, and then the Beans of Weenie show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and the series finale of Mysteries of the Paranormal at 11 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, throughout the weekend, be on lookout for the Nick and Tiv show and the Turfy show, Cold Train, Crazy Train, and Sunday evening at around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, you've got the It's Doomsday podcast with Gettr. Next week, of course, you've got the Ralph William podcast, and then the Gray Area, Freedom Warrior, the Old Man's podcast.
Sorry, that was actually me live. Sorry about that.
The Old Man's podcast with Dean, Joe, and Eric, weekdays at 10. And then next Wednesday, we should have Jeff Moore on in the Get to Know Your Podcaster series. Thursday, we'll have Spanky on, which I think we're definitely looking forward to those shows.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
And, of course, Tuesday, Chuck and Billy's Not Your Cup of Tea, but in case you missed it this week, they have published their 100th episode.
Look at Dawes' comment. Look at Dawes' comment. Every time Eric promotes a show, Biden sniffs a kid.
Oh, my God. And hopefully be on lookout for Slightly Serious to surprise us with an impromptu show. I know we're all really starting to miss him, but hopefully he'll be back to doing regularly scheduled shows, hopefully sometime in the second quarter.
Hopefully so. He's a good guy, and I think we all get to a point where we all take a break, and you have to wonder, is it worth spending the time?
Well, and he's still getting settled in Vegas.
Yeah, he's probably having a good time. I see the pictures of him and his significant other on Instagram going out to dinner. Man, they go out to dinner like every night. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm jealous of their life.
Hey, I think he's been focused on the poker games because he's having to raise up money to start like a new snack food business in Vegas since he kept the vape shop business in California for now.
Right, that's true.
And then next Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, Shannon has got a
conspiracy
no
shit,
show.
Right?
She'll have the dude Sean and Sava and maybe Gettr and Raccoon Six and Michael Key and a couple other friends, and I think I've already plugged Michael Key's Real Conservative Talk podcast if I haven't. So be on lookout for him, and be on lookout for Mike Tampa Bay and Jeremy with the new Seek and Find podcast project that he's hard at work on, and so many, many more great podcast friends.
Now, Eric, I don't know if I told you this, Eric. Let me tell you this real quick before we sign off. Sinister Breed reached out to me. Do you remember way back in the beginning? He and I used to do a show on horror movies. Yeah, he wants to bring back, what was the name of it again? Into the Morgue, right?
The Inside the Morgue podcast series.
Inside the Morgue. So be ready. Maybe sometime this summer, Sinister Breed and myself are going to bring back that old horror movie podcast we have. He runs it. I come on because we both love horror movies. So we might get on and start doing that again.
Jimmy's another good
what's up,
friend with the Pirate Radio podcast. Yeah. Love Jimmy from his Den of the Unknown days.
Nice. All right, everybody, listen, I appreciate you joining today. Valentine's Day. If you haven't gotten out and gotten a gift for your significant other, get your ass out there and get something. What you waiting for? And like I said, I'm going to probably just tell my wife tonight when she gets home, I don't need an expensive gift. All I want is sex. So if I get sex, I'm good. It's not my birthday. I know I've been married for a long time. Usually it's just saved for my birthday, but maybe I'll get a special Valentine's Day gift. And if so, I'll get on the air and give you guys the play-by-play. I'm sure you don't want to hear that because nothing like thinking about two old people having sex to make you throw up in your mouth, right? So anyway, I don't know why I went down that road. But anyway, Eric, thank you for joining me.
Love you and God bless you. And have a great weekend, everybody.
Yep, talk to you all soon. Love you all now. Bye-bye.
See you around Podbean.
Where's my music? God, there it is. God damn it. Boomer alert. Bye, DeGray. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Someone turned down the music. It's too fucking loud. I'm an old man. The music got too loud. Never. Join me for the rock show if you see me on later. If you like AC/DC and some hardcore rock, I got a lot of it, and I like it, so I'll be playing it. Later, everybody. Love you.